What is the nature of beauty?
What does it mean to live well?
What constitutes a good conversation?
What makes education
Is there a
good?
difference between a good education and a Christian education?
Why is there
Does
something
the
rather
existence
than
of
nothing?
dinosaurs threaten belief in the Old Testament?
Is mathematics the language of God?
Why did Christ die on the cross?
Could I be a faithful? Who do I want to become?
Are miracles a violation of
Is
nature?
inequality injustice? Should a government try to form virtuous citizens or prevent vicious ones?
When I'm leading a conversation, especially with students for the first time, I'll point out to them that when we're conversing with one another, they're sitting around a circle, and our focus is the big question, or if you will, the truth that sits in the center of the table. And so I'm trying to avoid students having a series of one-on-one conversations with me where I speak, and then they look to me for affirmation of what they said. Instead, I want them to see that, no, we're all in this together, pursuing the truth that is in the middle of us. But that truth doesn't reside with any one of us, and it doesn't reside with me, and it doesn't reside with them, but it resides in the center, if you will, of the table, right where the question is. So the question and the truth are there, and that's what we're trying to attend to together.
The class discussion is there to help you read with your own eyes. Part of the aim is to get students into a position of aporia, of puzzlement, of perplexity. On the other hand, it is useful to know that, especially in the Christian tradition, there are some definite answers to some of these questions. Is Jesus really God? The Nicene Creed says, in no uncertain terms, yes.
It's not uncommon for me to want to frame the discussion we're going to have by focusing our attention on something that I might present in the form of a lecture. But then, of course, the content in its depth, the thing that you want to explore, that you want to get out of it, that comes usually not from a lecture. It may be deep and profound in my mind, but that rarely comes out very well simply in the saying of it. And the conversation aims, I think, at doing that.
Can God's existence be proven?
How do familial and communal bonds
Is there a
relate to
best
justice
form
and
of
the
government?
common good? What are rights?
Is there a difference between belief, faith, and opinion?
Can Christians learn truth from non-Christians?
Can God change his mind?
Is truth only what we say it is?
One of the best results of a good class, I think, is to have better questions at the end than at the beginning. And the funny thing about asking the questions, Socrates pretends it's because he's ignorant, but in fact, when you ask the questions, you drive the conversation.
While reasoned discussion and debate are certainly to be highly encouraged, they must always be conducted, I think, in a manner that shows real respect for other views. Both passion and charity seem to be really necessary for good discussion.
Conversation is a public step toward understanding because we're working with someone else to try to understand something. We're helping them or trying to help them, and they're helping us. And ideally, that conversation would spill out of the classroom into the hallways and the sidewalks. We'd be sitting in the coffee shop talking about it, maybe even on the athletic field, because we're continuing to develop our understanding of whatever it was that we were discussing. Because all of life is learning or ought to be.
Is it just to be wealthy?
Is life worth dying?
How should we understand our past?
How important is a name?
What is it to be free?
Is truth anything more than a
What does it
human
mean to honor
convention?
my parents? Can the past be changed?
Should we try to change the world?
Free citizens or enslaved?
Is the evidence for the Big Bang viable?
Are all propositions contained within axiomatic systems either true or false?
Is Scripture all we need?
Does the commandment to love thy neighbor include aliens?
Do the measures of the angles within a triangle actually